It's now time for Talkin' Boxing with BillyC. It began as a podcast, went live on the net, and transformed into a full-blown empire. Across the web, on Fight Now TV, and on radio stations around the world. It's the only daily boxing talk radio show on the planet, hosted by the only guy with the balls to do it. Many have stepped into the ring. Many have tried to take the belt. And one by one, they've fallen. Another victim of the undisputed heavyweight champion of boxing talk radio. Talkin' Boxing with BillyC is on now.
My style is impetuous, my defense is impregnable, and I'm just ferocious. I want your heart.
And we're coming to you live from the BillyC Studios in Lake George, New York. I'm Bill Calogero. It's time for Talking Boxing with BillyC. Good morning, good day, good evening, wherever you listen. I hope you're doing all right. Busy week, busy day, busy show, busy. And I'm under the weather. Not because of the stupid ball yesterday. It's because I'm sick. That's the way it is. I didn't watch. I'm not even going to talk about it. The Big Blue. Anyway, the show's being brought to you in part by Cats Nationwide, luxury transportation service. If you need a limousine and you're someplace in the United States of America, then you can use my girl Cat. Give her a call, 202-351-7496. That's 202-351-7496. And don't forget, Cat's Nationwide Luxury Transportation Service will be providing the limousine service for our 2012 BillyC Boxing Hall of Fame induction weekend, November 16, 17, 18. If you want to take advantage of early bird special like a lot of you already have, which is smart because it's based on a two-person deal. And there's two options, one with hotel accommodations and one without. So if you're interested in that, it's only good for this month. So we'll be pulling that out of the optional tank. I don't know, man. Today's gonna be an off day. I'll tell you that right now. But if you're looking to save some money, drop me an email. Send an email to hofinfo@BillyCBoxing.com. hofinfo@BillyCBoxing.com if you want to take advantage of the early bird special for the 2012 BillyC Boxing Hall of Fame induction weekend get-together. The show's also being brought to you in part by Camp and Aaron Tomkovich. If you need a lawyer, you got to call Camp and Aaron Tomkovich, 845-221-4099, 845-221-4099. And, of course, my friends over at the Halftime Bar and Grill on Route 9, South Glens Falls. Give them a call ahead. They got great food. 518-792-4869. That's 518-792-4869. And as always, we showed up again at the Halftime Bar and Grill Friday night and watched some fights. I'm going to get to those in a second. And we'll give away some tickets to the KO at the TU, which I'll talk about that in a few minutes. It was a great show, actually. And people, I actually sat with the group that won a bunch of seats through us. We had a good time. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But let's see what else. Oh, I'll tell you what's coming up this week. Our Blast from the Past listener request. Former world champ Carlos Ortiz. That's our blast. Our feature fighter is the same guy we didn't do last week, Rocky Matoli. And we'll be talking about him. Our heavyweight spotlight is shining on Tommy Burns, former world heavyweight champ. And scheduled to join us this week is HBO's own Harold Letterman. Did you catch him with the curse word on the HB broadcast the other day? He says, I don't know how he gets knocked down with a bullshit punch. He said it real quick. With a bullshit punch. You know, I guess you're allowed to say that stuff now. Bullshit punch. No, I guess we're not. I'm going to get in trouble. I don't care. I'm sick. But Scotty and I are going to be introducing a new segment tomorrow, I believe. It's called Hits from the 80s. And we're going to do Vinny Pazienza against Greg Haugen. And our musical guest this week, who I feel like the David Letterman show, right? And our musical guest this week, or Saturday Night Live, right, is Rain Dogs. sponsored by RadioSubmit.com. We played a pretty decent tune to kick off the show, but prior to the intro, I should say. But excuse me. But we'll be featuring their music all week. You'll be able to click to their website from their logo, which is up under the Coming Up This Week section on the BillyCBoxing.com website. Anyway, don't forget about the mailbags. Keep them coming. I'm going to read a few in a minute. And we have the mobile application, so make sure you take advantage of that with your cell phone. You want to hear the show. Excuse me. You want to hear the show on your cell phone? All you got to do is go under the marketplace in sports, search BillyC Boxing, and you'll find us. Let me know how that works out because, my phone has it. I never get a good signal. So, goes, don't goes, the book club, check that out. All that stuff, man, all that stuff. I love the goes and the don't goes. But anyway, got a couple mailbags. I'm going to dedicate the first time to Given Quality, who was just so hung up on Floyd Mayweather. It's nauseating. But he does say, excuse me, please forget about how I feel about Mayweather. The only thing that matters is the talent and skill level of any fighter. I agree with you 100%, Given. That's what I'm trying to say, man. You know, I personally give Floyd credit for being an elite fighter, because that's what he is. And when it's all said and done, he's going to be considered a great. But we'll see. When you get to a collection of greats, he becomes just like the rest of them. I don't know how much better you think he's going to be. As a matter of fact, you went on to tell me that in this email. And by the way, in the Italian skill level of any fighter, in the end, what I think is just an opinion, and that's why I'm actually, I hope everybody takes that as a given, not given quality, but it's a gimme. That's what I meant to say. And the gimme is here. The whole show is based on your opinion, so it's not that I don't. I value everybody's opinion, whether you agree with me or not. My point with Given is that he's got blinders on. But it is his opinion. And because he responds and comments, I comment on that. He says, all the fighters' names that I mentioned, he says he doesn't even agree with them, except for Sugar Ray Robinson. He feels that if Floyd Mayweather Jr. fought Sugar Ray Robinson, assuming both were in their prime, he says the best that Robinson could do is pull out a draw. Come on, man. If that's not wearing blinders, I don't know. I suggest you go back and look at some of Robinson's tapes, and then keep in mind that all the footage we have of Sugar Ray Robinson was really the second half of his career. Second career, he's had 4 or 5, but most of the footage from the welterweight days are gone. Then he says that Floyd Mayweather Jr. would draw with Robinson, but he said the rest of the names I mentioned are just comical. He's not going to comment on it. Well, if you recall, the other names I mentioned that I thought were hands down would destroy Floyd Mayweather Jr., but if both were in their prime, fighting at the same weight classes, because obviously I threw out some names last week that were in all different weight classes. I mean, Hearns, Hagler, Basilio, Sweet Pea, Willie Pep, Sugar Ray Leonard. Comical? Come on, man. He says about Sugar Ray Leonard, he says Floyd Mayweather Jr. would never lose to his former drug addict. So, whatever, man. Listen, all those names I mentioned and then some. I had people emailing me, guys like LaMotta, just over and over and over would have beaten him. Anyway, that's my opinion. He's got his, so that's good. I appreciate you, communicating with his quality. He also is mad at my statement about human nature. He claims I keep changing my what I meant 3 times, he says. Yeah, that's not true. What I said was, the way Floyd has made this a sweepstakes. I'm going to say it again, Floyd Mayweather sweepstakes. Because for boxers, that's the lotto. That's a hit. They hit the lotto if they get to fight Floyd. And I think that it's human nature that, when you're thankful for somebody that just bought you a new house, basically, and making you drive in a nice car, maybe even set you up for the rest of your life, you don't think that human nature will take over a little bit and you're a little bit in awe of this guy? A little bit thankful? I don't know, man. I don't know about you, given quality, but I certainly would be thankful. If the guy gives me a shot, I'd fight Mayweather. If he gives me a shot right now, I'd be real thankful. But I would try to hit him. So I don't know. I think you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. But whatever, that's your thoughts. I know you love Mayweather Jr., but he's not going to beat Sugar Ray Leonard, and then it's not going to end. I mean, Sugar Ray Robinson. It's not going to end in a draw. He won't beat Leonard either. But another comment from Given Quality, which I'm going to get to as soon as I take this break, has to do with Paul Williams. Then I got a couple other emails. And some tragic news, actually, all coming up in about 2.
If you're in upstate New York and you need a trucking company, then you need Risselli Enterprises. Risselli Enterprises is trucking at its finest. They have it all. Dump trucks, dump trailers, walk-in floors, flatbeds, flow boys, tankers, loaders, and a full line of roll-off containers for any job, big or small. Risselli Enterprises is also the source for all your sand, gravel, and topsoil needs. Visit them on the web at RisselliTrucking.com or call 315-433-5115. That's 315-433-5115 and tell them Billy C sent you.
Are you ready, America? Then let's get it on with Fight Now TV. It's time, fight fans. Your channel has arrived. All the fights, all the names, all the action. From world-class boxing events to mixed martial arts showdowns and other combat sports matchups, Fight Now TV delivers the hits and more. Call your television provider and tell them you want to get it on with Fight Now TV. For more details, go to fightnow.com.
We've got a great matchup tonight. Fighting out of the left corner is the #1 ranked contender.
No, he is not.
I'm sorry, but who are you?
I am the IBO computer. I am programmed to provide only fair and unbiased boxing rankings. This fighter is the #15 ranked contender.
Fair and unbiased boxing rankings? That's a new concept.
Actually, it is not. The IBO has provided unbiased computerized rankings for many years.
Well, we've still got a great fight tonight, folks. In the left corner is the #15 ranked contender.
The IBO, the champion of integrity. Learn more at IBOboxing.com. Check out BillyCBoxing.com now, or feel the wrath of the mighty mustache.
Oh, that hurts. Why are you doing that to my face? I hate you. I hate you.
That's BillyCBoxing.com. Consider this your warning.
As a young boy, all Billy C dreamed about was one day having his own catchphrase.
And we're back. And we're back.
One boy, one dream, one day, everyone will say.
And we're back. 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 And we're back.
Catchphrase coming soon to a theater near you.
And we're back. You're listening to the Talking Boxing with BillyC Radio Show. You're watching us on LDL TV. Probably catching us on YouTube. See us a lot of places. BillyCBoxing.com. Radio dial throughout the United States, Canada. Check your local radio station, see if we're on one of your stations. We're on Fight Now television network. Podcasts, many versions. So I'm sure you can get us somehow, some way, some shape, in some form. Some bad news to pass along. Jeff Hellraiser Frazier, who I had the pleasure of watching a couple times live, was killed over the weekend on Saturday in apparently by a train. He was talking on a cell phone, I guess, and wasn't paying attention, and got hit by a train. It's pretty wild. I mean, you know. Anyway, our thoughts and condolences go out to the friends and family of Hellraiser Frazier. Unfortunate freak accident. 34 years old. He had a record of 17-3 with 10 knockouts. It's a shame. Anyway, trying to get out of the depressive state. Given Quality also gave me a comment about Paul Williams. He said Paul Williams was never in contention to fight Floyd back in the day. When Williams' first fight at 160, Floyd's first fight was 170. He says Williams' first fight at 160, Floyd's first fight at 147 was Mitchell, when he tuned up for Zab Judah. And, he goes on to say Williams had both fights, and then, what's his name? Mayweather had fights, blah, blah, blah. And he said when the deal was that Williams moved up in weight. So he was never in contention to fight Floyd. Given Quality, man. Here's the thing. He was never in contention by who? By Floyd? See, that's your way of thinking. You think Floyd is this god. I mean, really, you must. He's not. And, here's the thing. The reason why people are critical of Floyd Mayweather isn't because of what you always write. You pull out the stats. And once again, he throws in there, you are trying so freaking hard to make Carlos Baldomir look like a legitimate opponent for Floyd Mayweather. You know what? The belts are worthless. No one gives a crap about the belts. I know Baldomir had the belt. So what? He's a punching bag. The guy stands right there. Floyd had no problem with him. And then in the next breath you say, well, Williams was too big. Come on, man. Baldomir was able to make weight at 147. I mean, he was big guy. The reason why they never fought, Paul Williams and Floyd Mayweather, is because Floyd didn't want to fight him. He was too big, height-wise, and he was a southpaw. And the thing is, don't tell me that he was too big, he was fighting at 154. He's bragged about, to this day, being able to fight it between 147 and 160, take on anybody. That's what he says. Now, to defend Given Quality, today, I don't have any interest in seeing Paul Williams fight Mayweather at all. I agree with you there. He's not in contention to fight Mayweather today. But when everybody wanted him to, a few years ago, it would have been a worthwhile fight, I think. The thing here, you see what the problem is, Given? The problem is, and the masses, I believe, and I base it on what they tell me, is that he doesn't fight the people at the time. You seem to pull out stats when it's over and done and long behind. It's over. Come on, man. Right now, if somebody said, Floyd's ducking Paul Williams, I would agree with Given. I'd say, get out. He's not even in contention to fight him, which I agree with. But back then, he was. And Floyd ducked him. So I don't know what to tell you. It would have been a good win on his resume at that time. Now, I agree with you. And, the other thing is that he says, you can't tell me Floyd should not fight the best at the time to fight Williams or Margarito. He ducked Margarito too at that time. Now, who cares? Nobody wants to see him fight him or whatever. But, I understand these are all Given Quality's opinions, and I value them. But I just think that they're off. And that's my opinion. So I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying that my opinion is that Floyd should have fought Williams at one point back then, not now. Excuse me. Tenfold Offspring told me, emailed and says, He thinks Floyd's dumb and naive. Well, I don't know about that. I don't think he's naive or dumb. He says, I don't think that he's ducking Pacquiao after the Marquez fight. I just think he really believed that Manny Pacquiao would take less since he said he would. And he was excited about the fight, getting a higher purse, shutting up his critics. And then he felt that, he says, you don't call somebody one-on-one just to cut yourself out based on price. You call somebody because you're serious about fighting them. And I agree with that. I think Mayweather does want to fight Manny Pacquiao right now. And I also think that he's right about Manny Pacquiao at one time saying he would take less money just to fight him. Now he's saying no, he wants 50-50 split. It should be a 50-50 split. And they should fight. So, but anyway, thanks for the email. Tenfold offspring is that ID. And then finally, Vicky emails me and she says, Cotto actually boxes. And Mayweather's fights are boring because he thinks his record is the best in the world. His record is impressive. We can't take that away from him. There's no question about that. His record is impressive. And in my opinion, he's looked a lot better of late. And as far as boring fights, 100% agree. I agree. Except the last fight was not boring. I don't want to hear from anybody saying, well, if you don't like the science of boxing, no. What I don't like is somebody that says, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and doesn't do any of that. But I do believe that Cotto and Mayweather is going to be a good fight. And that is a big buzz going around. We talked a lot about it over the weekend with fight fans at the Albany Times Union Center, where I covered some fights. And, the general consensus was that people are excited about it. And I think it's doing very well at the gate. And we'll have to see who Manny picks. They had promised that that they were going to announce his opponent over the weekend, but apparently they didn't get the paperwork signed. But for some reason, it looks like Marquez might be fighting Lamont Peterson. And, who knows? Who knows? I thought maybe we were going to have Manny Pacquiao fight Peterson. But it looks like he's going to fight Bradley. So, but they haven't made it official yet. So anyway, we're going to go over some fights. But one thing I want to throw in here, Marco Antonio Rubio entered the fight on Saturday night with a protest, a written formal protest, because they did not like the referee in that fight. And I tell you, a couple of those low blows that he was called for against Chavez Jr., I think were borderline, but for the most part, I thought the referee did a good job. Marco Antonio Rubio, Team Rubio, is also issuing a statement about the lack of drug test that did not take place after the fight, which is an issue. Most, I know not all, but most commissions require a urine test after the fight, right there in the locker room. As a matter of fact, everyone that I've ever been associated with turn around and they follow. As soon as you leave the ring, they have somebody following you. I've had fighters that had somebody standing around waiting for them to urinate in their little sample jar or whatever, and they're not allowed to do anything until they do. But apparently that didn't take place in Texas, and apparently when they asked the guy in charge, who, because it was a WBC sanctioned fight, they asked Jose Sulaiman what the deal was, and according to Team Rubio, he shrugged his shoulders and said, "Oh, we forgot." What are you talking about? We forgot. I said it last week. Jose Sulaiman has lost his mind. I really believe he has. And what about the open scoring? They even said it on the broadcast that it's not legal in the United States, or it's not accepted in the United States under the ABC rules. But yet Texas had it going on Saturday. Excuse me. They had open scoring. which I thought was, I think that's the stupidest rule ever. But anyway, that's my opinion. It's my opinion given. Listen, I'm going to take a short break. When I come back, I'm going to go over the fight results from Friday and Saturday. And we'll take it from there.
Are you ready, America? Then let's get it on with Fight Now TV. It's time, fight fans. Your channel has arrived. All the fights, all the names, all the action. From world-class boxing events to mixed martial arts showdowns and other combat sports matchups, Fight Now TV delivers the hits and more. Call your television provider and tell them you want to get it on with Fight Now TV. For more details, go to fightnow.com.
Broadcasting in all corners of the globe, on the web and radio.
He would scoff at a stretch of that man, I would think.
You're listening to Talkin' Boxing with BillyC from upstate New York in the good old US of A.
Boxing is here to stay because we are here to stay.
The best 2 hours of boxing talk on the airwaves.
Hey, fight fans, check out KOFantasyBoxing.com. KO Fantasy Boxing is boxing's only trademarked fantasy game. Check it out, www.KOFantasyBoxing.com. Select your own gym, your own fighters, track them through a season that can last from 3 months to a year, depending upon which league you join. You got to check this out, man, www.KOFantasyBoxing.com. Join it today. Again, www.KOFantasyBoxing.com. And tell him BillyC sent ya.
Now back to Talkin' Boxing with BillyC, the only radio host man enough to take a punch from Mike Tyson.
Wait a minute, man. Hold on there. Jeremy, man, I need you to take this one, all right?
Wait, what? No way. I can't do this.
Need I remind you I'm BillyC, damn it? Now put on that mustache and get in there.
Hey, look at me. I'm BillyC. Crap.
The undisputed heavyweight champion of boxing talk radio. It's Talkin' Boxing with BillyC.
Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. My fellow Americans, good evening. Welcome back to Talkin' Boxing with BillyC. It's great to be here discussing the sweet science with everybody. I love boxing. I love talking boxing. It's what I do.
Bill.
Wait, what? Why are you interrupting me? What?
Wrong.
What's the problem?
Billy, see?
I did not have...
We're going to have to ask you.
Speech. What do you mean wrong, BillyC? What's going on here? Fine, I'll go. I just wanted to talk some boxing on TPSradio.net. That's all I wanted to do. I don't need your damn show. I'll get my own talking wrestling with the other BillyC. Yeah, that sounds good. I've always been a Hulkamaniac anyway.
Broadcasting live, brother. Welcome back to Talking Boxing with BillyC on the mighty TPSradio.net, brother. What you gonna do, brother?
And we're back. You're listening to the Talking Boxing with BillyC radio show. You're watching us on the Fight Now television channel, and I want to welcome the Fight Now audience just joining us, like they do Monday through Friday from 6 to 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. If you don't have the Fight Now channel right now added on your sports channel lineup, then you need to give your local television provider a call right now. Tell them that you want the Fight Now channel added. It's that simple. For all the info on Fight Now, check out their website, www.fightnow.com. And speaking of Fight Now, get everybody that's just tuning in caught up. This week's blast from the past is Carlos Ortiz, requested by a listener or a viewer. Featured fighter is going to be former champ Rocky Matoli, and a heavyweight spotlight is going to be shining on former world heavyweight champ Tommy Burns. Our guest this week so far is going to be Harold Letterman from HBO, and we'll be chatting with him, so I'm looking forward to that interview for sure. So, speaking of fights, this guy and I are going to do the hits from the 80s, which is a new segment, and we will be talking about a fight that took place on June 7th in 1987 between Vinny Pazienza and Greg Hauger. Greg Haugen. We know him. He's part of the BillyC Boxing Hall of Fame. As a matter of fact, Greg Haugen will be here this year. As a matter of fact, he was very apologetic. I believe him, too. I was real pissed. You guys know that. Go back and listen. If not, go back and listen to the show that we had right after that. So it would be, I don't know, I guess maybe November 21st show, that Monday. Let me see what I said. Maybe I should delete that one, huh? But anyway, Friday Night Fights. You know, I was just talking with my man David Allen in the chat room, and I thought a lot more people would have, in our challenge, would have picked Edison Miranda to win from Friday Night Fights on Friday. Of course, they're on Friday. Although we have had Friday Night Fights special on Saturday and Wednesdays. But Isaac Chilimba wouldn't have any part of it. I thought he was too big. And did he bust up Miranda or what? You know, I was watching it at the Halftime Bar and Grill, so I didn't have the sound on. And I had to wait till Saturday night for our very own Dax Khan to tell me that that vicious cut that had blood everywhere was caused by a punch. So the score, it went the distance, which surprised me because Miranda, he does get knocked out. And Chilimba, well, he should have knocked him out. He's so big, but he's young, man. That kid's young. You watch, he's going to be, you're going to see him around a lot more. But he looked monstrous in there. How he could only weigh 175 pounds. 3 judges pretty much had it a one-sided fight. 2 of them had it at 96-92, while the third saw it 97-91 to give Chilimba the unanimous decision win. He's reckoned now as 19 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 9 knockouts. And they're still cleaning up the blood from that fight. It was pretty action-packed. How about the heavyweight? How about the heavyweight? They have Mago. Yeah, Magomed Abdulzamov. He's 13-0 now with 13 knockouts. That number 13 was unlucky for his opponent, Pedro Rodriguez, because Pedro Rodriguez went to sleep in the second round. So Rodriguez lost for the first time of his career. Tried to slug it out with Abdulzamov, but wasn't able to. The end came at exactly 1 minute and 4 seconds of the second round. Excuse me. To give Mago the win. In a fight that, on a card that was weird, we lost a couple of the fights this week because they got dropped out. And this one, we had McJoe Arroyo against Cadel Martinez. Now, on Friday we talked about Jermaine Cruz. On Thursday we talked about Jermaine Cruz being the opponent, but then he had to get substituted at the last minute, so Cadel Martinez stood in for him. And we were informed at the weigh-in that Martinez failed his physical, and the fight was scratched. So it was scratched off of our challenge. Brother's brother, Mick Williams Arroyo, he improved to 10-1 with 9 knockouts when he won via a knockout TKO over Gilberto Mendoza, who drops to 4-2 with a knockout. He got a shoulder injury, and he wasn't able to come out for round 4, which gave Arroyo the TKO win. Keep that in mind, because the shoulders were a weak part of the body this week, apparently, with the fight cards, at least the one I was at. Jonathan Gonzalez remained undefeated in the flyweight division when he stopped Samuel Gutierrez in the 5th round. Gutierrez drops at 5-10 with 3 draws, and Jonathan Gonzalez improves to 8-0 with 7 knockouts. It made it to exactly 1 minute and 1 second of the 5th round. top prospect, or used to be a prospect, Luis Yoel Gonzalez, was supposed to have an easy fight against Ramirez Gil. But Gil thought otherwise because he won a 6-round unanimous decision to improve to 7 wins, 3 losses, 5 draws. The judges had it 59-55, and 2 had it at 58-56. Gonzalez loses for the first time. His record now is 9-1-1 with 5 knockouts. Anytime you see somebody with a record like that, 7 wins, 3 losses, 5 draws. I mean, if he had 20 fights and he had 5 draws, I wouldn't. A flag wouldn't go up. But when you're looking at 7-3 and then 5 draws, that kid's a lot better than people think. Come on. Those were the fights from Friday night. Saturday night, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. beat Marco Antonio Rubio. Went the distance. People thought that the fight was a little closer than one of the judges had it. They thought it was more realistic. You had unanimous decision. One judge had it 118-110. One had it 116-112. And the third saw it 115-113. All in favor of Chavez. Rubio gave up those first rounds. And, I thought that, honestly, I only thought he won a couple rounds. He just couldn't hurt Chavez. Chavez looked pretty strong. Now, we all just heard about the protest and the lack of urine test. So we'll see what happens with that. And they released some other stuff about Chavez Jr., like he was arrested during training camp for a drunken driver charge. I have all that information I'll talk about in a little bit. I don't have it in front of me. It's buried somewhere. But I will talk about that. And, I was talking with Dax Khan over the weekend. And we were talking about Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. And he thought it was a travesty that he came in so big. What they're going to do is they are going to, this is my prediction. So write it down. I think they are going to have the fight with Martinez. And then if Chavez loses that fight, or even if he wins, he's going to move up in weight. And he'll use the weight as an excuse so he doesn't lose any juice and fanfare. Nonetheless, he improves to 45-0 with a draw and one draw. And I don't know how many knockouts he's got, but he's got a bunch of them. Chavez said that he thought Rubio wouldn't be as tough as he was. Apparently, he didn't watch any tapes. I can't stand the CompuBox stats, and I know I had Alex Papali mentioned to me over the weekend that he got all excited when he heard that Harold Lenneman's going to be on the show this week from HBO, and he says, "Oh, you got to ask him about CompuBox." Of course, I'm going to ask him about CompuBox. It's my biggest hang-up. His CompuBox and Jim Lampley's new glasses. Come on, man. What's he think he's doing? He's so snooty. Wouldn't you want to punch him in his face? There's a couple of guys I would like to punch in the face for no reason. He's one of them. Floyd's another. That's a different story. Yeah, apparently on my birthday, January 22nd, Chavez was out drinking and got pulled over. He was arrested. Man, did they keep that quiet or what? They just released it now, a couple weeks later. But anyway, Chavez, I don't know. I'm starting to like him more and more and more. I'll tell you one fighter that I think is maybe not. What'd you think of Donaire's performance? I mean, he won. And boy, at times he showed some greatness, right? He showed some glimpses of greatness. But at other times he showed me, anyway, a lot of signs of just being ordinary. And I say that not because, I can't tell that the guy's loaded with talent, but I tell you right now, they're talking about him fighting Yuriorkis Gamboa at featherweight, if Gamboa can stay at featherweight. And by the way, Manny Stewart now is training Yuriorkis Gamboa, and they talked about that during the broadcast, which I think is the stupidest move Gamboa can make. but we will talk about that a little later. And nothing against Stewart, but I see what they're doing with Gamboa, and I don't like it. But anyway, Nonito Donaire won. He beat Wilfredo Vasquez Jr. Two of the scorecards had it 117, 110, and in favor of Nonito Donaire. And the third had it 115, 113 in favor of Vasquez. I don't know how you could score it for Vasquez. He went down. Looked like he was. I tell you, my man Letterman, Harold, gave him a 10-8 round when he shouldn't have. But nonetheless, they talked about the statistics after every single round, and we're basing their discussion on those statistics, which is ridiculous. But I thought he looked ordinary. Could it be that he is moving up too much? I know it's only a couple of pounds difference, but Vasquez only lost for the second time in his career. And I like this kid. There's something about him. Apparently, Donaire hurt his hand. After the fight, you saw all the blood on it. So I don't know. They said he broke it. Bone must have come through. But anyway. So Nonito Donaire, who's he going to fight next? We'll have to wait and see. So there's some other fights on that card, and I can never say this guy's name, but he works with. Oh man, am I saying a lot of times? I can't breathe. But he works with Freddie Roach and Vanis Martirosyan, 32-0 now, 20 knockouts. When he beat the snot out of Troy Lowry, it was a punching bag at best. Fight was stopped in the third round. Doesn't surprise me. Some other fights on the card. Wally Omotosu improved to 21-0 with 18 knockouts when he beat the snot at Ernesto Rojas for 6 rounds. It was a 6-round fight, but the referee just said, enough's enough. Don't even make this kid last another 3 minutes. But anyway. Also, on the card, bantamweight Adam Lopez making a pro debut. He destroyed Richard Hernandez, knocked him out in the first round to improve to 1-0 since it was his pro debut. And Hernandez lost for the second time in his career. 2 minutes and 11 seconds was when the fight ended. Alex Saucedo improved to 2-0, 2 knockouts when he beat Jean Colleen, who dropped to 0-2. Ivan Nahara, 6-0 now, because he beat up on David Castillo, who stopped him in his second, 2 minutes, 34 seconds. Castillo drops to 2-4. Junior welterweight Raul Morales improved to 16-0 with a draw when he fought Sean Nickel and won a decision, a split decision. Two judges had it for Morales, 59-55 and 58-56. The third saw it the other way, 59-55 for Sean Nickel. So Morales hangs on in that one. And Ricardo Vallecena, he got an upset victory to improve to 1 win, 2 losses, and a draw when he won a 4-round decision over the hometown kid Jeremy Longora, who dropped to 3-1. And he was out of Texas. So over in Germany, my man Johan Pablo Hernandez came out on top in that one against Steve USS Cunningham, former IBF world champion. And once again, Hernandez dropped Cunningham this time a couple of times and went on to win. The fight was entertaining if you didn't see it. It went back and forth. But, Cunningham lost enough to fall pretty substantially behind on the scorecard. And as a result, lost the fight. 116-110 was the way 2 of the judges had it. And the third had it a little closer, 115-111. But all in favor of Johan Pablo Hernandez. Now, Steve USS Cunningham had said that he would retire if he didn't win this fight. That's how confident he was. He changed that. And he was pretty cool at the end, at the press conference. He says, hey, I tried my hardest today Hernandez was better. I hope, I wish him all the best. And I promise I'm not going to retire. I'm going to come back and I'm going to be better than ever. All I could say to Cunningham is do yourself a favor, Richie. I was going to call him Richie. Do yourself a favor, Steve. Stay in the cruiserweight division. The heavyweight's going to kill you. If you can't stay on your feet in the cruiserweight division, you're not going to stay on your feet in the heavyweight division. So, Hernandez now is 26 wins, 1 loss, 13 knockouts. Cunningham lost for the 4th time. A fight that we did have on our challenge, but it got scratched because the second fight that got scratched was Chaz Witherspoon. His opponent changed at the last minute. And I do mean last minute. But he won anyway. He fought David Salisbury, who dropped to 7-5. 42 seconds into the second round is when he went to sleep. Witherspoon improves to 29-2 with 21 knockouts. The main event had Doran Spivey on it. Now I'm going by Dangerous Doran Spivey. He improved to 40 wins, 6 losses with 30 knockouts. And he also picked up the NABA Lightweight Championship when he beat up on Victor Vasquez. And the 7th round started, and then 25 seconds later, it was stopped, giving Spivey the wins. Entertaining fights taking place in Atlantic City. Ronnie Rios, he stopped Jeremy McLaurin in the 4th round of a scheduled 8-rounder in California. This was a fight that both fighters fought, in spurts, I guess they would say it. Coming after each other and then resting, coming after each other. McLaurin was hurt a few times before they stopped it, but Rios improves to 17-0 with 8 knockouts, and Jeremy McLaurin drops to 9-3. Former WBA super bantamweight champ Ricardo Cordova took over a year off, almost a year and a half, actually, 15 months to be exact, and he got back in the ring, shook off the ring rust, and then stopped Miguel Cogolo Valadez in the 2nd round. Valdez drops to 19-8. So he's looking for to get back in the title mix. Cordova is. I was ringside for the fights in Albany, New York. It was called the KO at the TU, and it was a good card, except for the main event. The main event featured Joe the Future Hanks, who, I gotta be honest with you, this kid looks like he very well may be the future of the heavyweight division. He's big, he's strong, he's got some power, and he was taking on Rafael Pedro, who is 6'7". Talk about being big, right? 6'7". This guy wasn't in shape. He had bigger boobies than me, and he had these skinny little. His legs were about as thick as a pen. And I said that I didn't think the fight would last 3. It didn't go. It didn't last much into 2, because at 48 seconds into the 2nd round, he ended up on the ground, on the canvas, when Hanks pushed him off. Because Hanks landed some pretty hard shots in the 1st round, and according to Hanks, in post-fight interview, said that he could tell that Rafael Pedro didn't want to go on anymore. And when he hit the canvas, what do you think he did? He pulled a Bernard Hopkins. My shoulder. It was writhing in pain. Not one. They had in New York State. You have to have 3 doctors. I thought you only had 2, but there was 3 there, and 2 of the 3 jumped into the ring immediately. Interesting thing happened at that point. He's laying there in the corner, and he's being attended to. And Joe the Future Hanks was so pissed off that he ran over there and started belittling him, telling him, you should have fought, you wimp, you this, you that. And he's laying there on the ground, and didn't to no avail. The official result was a TKO win. 48 seconds in the 2nd round. Joe the Future Hanks improved to 19-0 with 13 knockouts. And Rafael Pedro dropped to 21-10 with a draw, 15 knockouts. Hanks addressed the crowd afterwards and said he loves Albany, loves the press, and says he's going to be back, and he hopes that he comes back and fights somebody that's a real fighter, not a fake wannabe like his opponent Rafael Pedro was. And a lot of the fans gave him, they're thinking highly of him, so, of Joe the Future Hanks, considering he's not even from around the Albany area. I thought they did a pretty good draw. Originally, I thought there was the commission told me an hour before the fight that they had sold over 2,500 tickets, and then I guess walk-up crowd, they had close to 4,000. Actually, a little over 4,000. So pretty good gate. It didn't look it if you were there because the arena that they had it in could have fit 10, and I know that feeling. But Joe the Future Hanks very well may be the future for the heavyweight division. You know, listen, I'm going to take a break. Normally, we wait a couple of minutes, but I got to take a break right now. I'm a little under the weather. When I come back, I'm going to tell you about the rest of this card, and we got some other boxing news to talk about. Just want to apologize in advance. Got sick over the weekend, man, and as you can hear, I'm struggling. So glad you could join me. Glad you could hang out with me. And I'm glad I'm going to be able to go to bed in a couple of hours. So I'll be right back.
Talkin' Boxing with BillyC now has official merchandise available on TalkinBoxing.com. T-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, and mugs. And yes, even undergarments. Talkin' Boxing apparel is the perfect gift for the boxing fan in your life. Log on to www.talkinboxing.com. That's TalkinBoxing.com and place your order today.
Join us here for 2 hours as Billy and the gang do what they do best.
Every time I start talking about boxing, a white man got to pull Rocky Marciano out there. Rocky Marciano was good, but compared to Joe Louis, Rocky Marciano ain't.
Hit Joe Louis's ass.
Joe Louis was 75 years old when he fought.
Huh? What?
We're supposed to be talking boxing.
It's Talking Boxing with BillyC.
As BillyC sits here in the multi-million-dollar Talkin' Boxing Studios, sipping a fine wine before you're even out of bed, you should be thinking, damn, I wish I had a mustache like his. It's the Talkin' Boxing with BillyC show. He's BillyC, and you're not. Sucks to be you.
Now let's dig into our archives and hear a rare interview when BillyC first became the champion of boxing talk radio. Hello, BillyC. As the new champ, can we ask you a few questions?
Why, certainly.
Okay, your fans would like to know how you and your corner have successfully walloped the competition.
We're not ordinary people. We're morons.
Anything else?
I'm a victim of circumstance.
Did your success finally come when you made the show 5 days a week for 2 hours? What do you think?
I'm trying to think, but nothing happens.
Now, please tell the listeners what you've learned from making it this far.
Certainly. If at first you don't succeed, keep on sucking till you do succeed.
Great words of wisdom, BillyC. Keep up the great work as the undisputed People's Champion with your show, Talkin' Boxing with BillyC. Any last words to anyone who's listening?
This is your fault, you bonehead.
Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. My fellow Americans, good evening. Welcome back to Talking Boxing with BillyC. It's great to be here discussing the sweet science with everybody. I love boxing. I love talking boxing. It's what I do.
Bill.
Wait, what?
Bill.
Why are you interrupting me? What?
Wrong.
What's the problem?
Billy, see?
I did not have...
We're going to have to ask you.
Speech. What do you mean wrong, BillyC? What's going on here? Fine, I'll go. I just wanted to talk some boxing on TPS radio.net. That's all I wanted to do. I don't need your damn show. I'll get my own. talking wrestling with the other Billy C. Yeah, that sounds good. I've always been a Hulkamaniac anyway.
Broadcasting live, brother. Welcome back to Talking Boxing with Billy C. on the mighty TPSradio.net, brother. What you gonna do, brother?
And we're back. You are listening to the Talking Boxing with Billy C radio show. And you're watching us on the Fight Now television channel. And if you don't have Fight Now on your channel lineup, especially your sports package, you need to call your local television provider right now and tell them that you want the Fight Now channel. Add it. That's simple. And Fight Now made it pretty easy for you to do even that. You know, they can't make the call for you, but they certainly can make it easy, and they did. If you visit their website, www.fightnow.com, and click the United States of America banner they got there, the graphic, you'll be able to choose which state you live in. And Fight Now conveniently, I say conveniently, put all the phone numbers for the for the TV providers for your state. Just click the one that you pay every month and call them. The phone number will be right there. It's that simple. I say it's that simple. Remember the Froghorn, Leghorn from Bugs Bunny? I say, whatever. But check out their website, www.fightnow.com. Don't forget, every night is Fight Night at Fight Now, 10 p.m. Eastern. If you go to the listings, if you go to their website, you'll get the latest listings, www.fightnow.com. The co-main event on the KO at the TU was Sahib Yuzarov. He's a former against former Olympic gold medalist Yamba Femeli. It was a 10-round fight in the 118-pound weight class. But you know, there was a belt on the line, and here's the thing that bothered me about this fight. Nothing about the fight itself or the fighters or anything. It was the fans. They were booing. They were saying, "Oh, come on, Sally. Come on, Janet. Come on, Jane." You know the old. When you get drunk, these guys are being total idiots. That's the only thing. I guess I don't notice it when I'm having a couple of drinks myself, but because I was sick, I couldn't eat anything. So I think I tried to throw down some Cracker Jacks. They charged me like $9 for. It was a big bag, but still $9 for Cracker Jacks. Jesus, and the prize was a piece of garbage. For $9, the prize in the Cracker Jack should have been a new car. Should have been a new car at least, But no, I got like a tattoo or something. Yeah, washed off already. I put it on now. But anyway, how come they don't put peanuts? How come they don't put the? Remember those? They used to have like those peanuts. They were like Cracker Jack styled peanuts in there. How come they put like 5 in a bag? Like I said, it was like a like they say in England, it was a sack, man. It was a big sack full of whatever it is, Cracker Jacks. Yeah. And there was like maybe 5 or 10 peanuts in there. The rest was candy corn and popcorn. It was peanuts and a prize. That's what you get in Cracker Jacks. Remember that? Cracker Jacks, candy corn and popcorn, peanuts and a prize. Now that's what you get in Cracker Jacks. And then they get caught in your teeth, spitting out kernels of popcorn all day. Anyway, my problem with the fight was they're booing it. And what they didn't realize is that these guys were boxing, man. There was a lot of punches thrown and landed. It's just that neither one of them were known for their punching power. I mean, we all have seen Yamba Femeli fight a bunch of times. It was a close fight, but Yuzanov took the title. I think it was an NABO title, maybe. He improved to 18-0, 6 knockouts. And Yamba Femeli, out of all the Cubans, I guess he's not doing as good as everybody thought. He's 12-3 now, 4 knockouts. And all 3 judges, 2 of the 3 judges had it 96-93, and the third had it 98-91. I think it was more like 96-93, I believe. Anyway, I wasn't keeping an official scorecard. But anyway, the the thing about this fight that I liked was that it was back and forth. It was close. There was a lot of punches thrown. There's no power. Because the rest of the card, with the exception of this fight I'm going to talk about right now, all ended in the first round. Kevin Rooney Jr. was the first fight that went the distance, and he went 4 rounds with Stanley Harvey in the middleweight division. Now, he used to, when he first started, Kevin Rooney Jr., not too long ago, I think he campaigned at junior middle. I'm almost positive he was at 154. But I will tell you this. Kevin Rooney Jr. looks good physically. He's in good shape. A lot of nice muscle tone. He seems to have okay hand speed. I guess he doesn't have much pop behind his punches. He's only got the 1 knockout. He's 3-1 now. But he takes a lot of punches. And he fights in the peekaboo style, which he probably shouldn't because he's tall. And he should have knocked this guy out. The guy that he fought, I'm not taking anything away from him. He was tough. But what he looked like to me was a guy that was out of shape. Maybe he was a featherweight if he's in shape. He was out of shape. He was fat. He was another one with bigger boobies than me. And, Rooney, KC. Kevin Rooney Sr. calls him KC. KC went the distance with this guy. Won a unanimous decision. All 3 judges had it lopsided. All 4 rounds went to Kevin. 40 wins, 40-36 is the way it was, so he could have proved the 3-1. Harvey, who fights out of Norfolk, Virginia, he dropped to 1-2 in a knockout. Rooney gets up on the podium. Kevin Rooney Sr. Gets up and says, Joe Antonacci was the ring announcer. And after every fight, Joe obviously was killing time because a lot of the fights ended early. And he would put the mic in front of the fighters. What do you think? What do you think? And, he put Kevin Rooney on the spot, Kevin Rooney Sr. And I'm going to refer to the fighter as Casey. So not to be confused when I say Kevin or Rooney from now on. It's going to mean Papa. And Papa Rooney, maybe I'll just call him Papa Rooney. He says, we're gonna fight. We're gonna try and find some place where we can fight like every other week. We want to, do that for the rest of the year and build up his record. I'd like to get 10, 12, 15 fights under his belt. So he's looking to get at least 10 or 12 fights this year for his son. He says, the middleweight division needs a guy like Kevin, KC. And I agree. I think the middleweight division is pretty barren right now. But, like all parents, you think pretty highly of your kids. And I got to talk to Kevin afterwards, Senior. And I hadn't seen him in a while. Him and I used to be really good friends. Just haven't seen him in a while. But we were happy to see each other. The man hug. We did the man hug. And, not the way David Allen does a man hug. He hugs men. I just, But he said, he's working real hard. He said he wanted to fight. I laughed at him. And I said, go ahead, train. And Papa Rooney said that it's exactly what Kevin Rooney Jr. did. Trained. Turned pro. Now he's 3-1. And Kevin, Papa Rooney says, should be 4-0. Got robbed in another fight. He's glad that, ironically enough, Kevin Rooney Jr. used to be the publicist for Star Boxing. Now, this card was promoted by Star Boxing. And Kevin Rooney was on the card. Kevin Rooney Jr. was on the card. But Kevin Rooney Jr. is not their PR person anymore. He works for Lou DiBella now. And Kevin Sr., Papa Rooney, thinks that DiBella might get him more fights. I don't know about that. The problem is getting on cards. Unless somebody's going to pay him. And I know Kevin Rooney doesn't want to, have his kid fight for nothing. So I don't know. Do I think he's going to get anywhere? I doubt it. But we'll wait and see. One of my knocks on Papa Rooney is that he's a one-dimensional trainer. He only teaches the peekaboo style. So if you're 9 feet tall, you're going to be doing peekaboo. And I think Kevin Jr., KC, is he's big enough to box. You know, he covered up too much and took too many shots. And I'm not saying he was hurt or anything, because he never once was hurt. But as his level of opposition goes up, he may find himself going down. I don't know. Looks like he should have a lot more pop behind his punches. He worked the body well, I'll tell you that. 3-1 now. 1 knockout. Kevin Rooney Jr. In a super middleweight contest, Jason Escalera, who's undefeated. You've seen him, I think. I think he might have been on ESPN once. He beat Marcus Brooks. Now, Marcus Brooks came to fight. He walked into the fight at 7 wins, 8 losses. 3 coming by knockout. And Escalera, he dropped him. He dropped Marcus Brooks once in the second, once in the third, once in the fourth, and then a second time at the fourth. And this time it was waved off officially. 1 minute and 9 seconds of the fourth round to give Escalera his 13th victory, 12 coming by knockout. And Marcus Brooks dropped to 7-9 with 3 knockouts. I don't think Escalera is much. He seemed one-dimensional to me. I think they're building up his record. They're going to farm him out. I don't know. But, you know, this kid, I will tell you this. The kid Brooks that he fought was tough. So maybe that's why he didn't look as good. But the truth of the matter is that the fans in attendance at the Times Union Center went crazy every time this guy got up, and they were cheering him. They actually gave him a standing ovation when the fight was over. And speaking of standing ovations, he fights out of Schenectady, New York, which is really near Albany. It's like, they call it 3 cities there. Tri-city area. You got Albany, you got Schenectady, and you have, what's the other one? Albany, Troy, New York. And they call it Tri-City area. And Brian Abraham, who's been hand-fed to every lion that wants to destroy him. You know, it's a shame, because you see a kid like this, who the fans were just so behind. The fan base, the guy who won the fan base for the night was Rooney Jr. I mean, he had the most fans there than anybody. So the kid can sell tickets in Albany. But back to Brian Abraham in the welterweight division, junior welterweight division. You know, he's got an upside down record, and he fights all these tough guys all the time, including his opponent on Saturday night was Darnell Giles. He fights out of Rochester. I believe he fights. I think he trains pretty close to Kevin, to be honest with you. But he lives in Rochester, which is pretty far away. And he went into the fight with an 8-2-1 record. Brian Abraham went into the fight with a 5-10-2 record, but it was his hometown. And he came out guns a-blazing. And it looked like he was going to basically shoot his load there in the first round, Abraham. And he very well may have, except a 1-2 combination knocked Darnell Giles into. I think he's just waking up now. They call him the Brick, Abraham. And when they put the mic in front of him, they said, how do you describe your fight tonight, Brick? He says, I used 2 bricks, the left and the right. And that's exactly right. The official time was 2 minutes and 59 seconds of the first round. And Abraham now improves to 6 wins, 10 losses, 2 draws, with 6 coming by knockout. And Giles, he drops to 8-3-1. The whole card got kicked off by 2 pro debut fighters. And they were announced as light heavies. Except the problem is they both weighed 180 pounds even. So obviously the contract was at 180. But that's a cruiserweight. It's a cruiserweight. They should have been announced as cruiserweights. And they weren't. They were announced at light heavyweights. But the local kid out of Albany, Mike Stitz, he fought Kareem Richardson. And that fight didn't go very long. As a matter of fact, Stitz knocked out Richardson at the 2-minute mark. of round numero uno to grab his pro debut W. And like I mentioned, Richardson, he too was making a pro debut, and his pro debut didn't fare as well because he lost. So, a couple of notes about the card. Number one, it's a great place to watch fights. So if you ever get a chance to do that, make sure you go up to the Times Union Center. The second thing is, they were filming this movie there. And the way it was described, I thought that it was going to be a movie that they were going to get the footage of the fights, of the fights. But that's not what happened. They enticed everybody to stay. They tried to get everybody to stay. They didn't entice them with much because they could have given them a beer or something. They all would have stayed. But what it was they had two actors dressed as boxers, and they just needed people in the crowd. And it looked good. It looked good. I watched for a little bit. So another thing that they did was they had the two worst rappers I've ever heard in my life. I want to know something. Anybody that's out there that knows, I would assume, I know that Floyd Mayweather is a rap guy. He hangs out with 37 Cent, right? Oh, no, I'm sorry, 40 Cent, 75 Cent, no, 50 Cent, right? Hangs out with 50 Cent. So I know he's a rapper, so maybe Given Quality knows rap. And I got a question for you, Given Quality. What's the deal with the underwear showing? I mean, it clearly was a style, because the guy, I watched him, he was with a gorgeous girl. Oh, my God, there was a couple of gorgeous women there. My goodness, I hate that. They shouldn't let them come in when they're that good, because then I can't pay attention. They just drool and drool and drool. And the thing is that this guy, I didn't know who he was. I still don't know who he was. Comes in with this bombshell. Oh, my goodness. And I watched him. He's pulling his pants down to try and get his underwear to show, And I was informed that some of these guys even wear two pairs, to have one pair and then the other pair for show, and then the jeans that they, I don't know how they don't fall all the way off. He's up there rapping. He's shaking his underwear booty butt. He's terrible. I want to know, is that a style thing? I mean, what's the point? I thought that was out of style, to tell you the truth. He was terrible. Then they had another guy. Hey, listen, the black guys and gals, they do the best raps. I'm sorry. They do. They got more rhythm. White guys, stay out of rap. You guys suck. And there was a white guy that tried to do raps. He sucked. Then we were informed that they're going to be doing more music. They're going to be doing more music for another show. And a couple of guys, and I apologize because I forget their names, but they teamed up with Evander Holyfield. And their concept is to have music and boxing. I didn't have the heart to mention to them that they already did that. It used to be called Boxing Nation or something. And they combined, music and boxing. And it worked for a while. I don't know what happened to it. But that's what these guys are going to do. They promised they're going to come back to Albany. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But all in all, I thought it was a dynamite card. I think Joe DeGuardia did a good job there. And what was more impressive was that really there was only a couple of 4-round local kids. And the meat of the show consisted of other fighters that he was able to sell tickets for, which is hard in this business. It really is. So, what's up with the underwear? It kills me. I even heard guys yelling, but I stopped listening to them because they were all drunk, spilling their beer everywhere. If you're going to drink and drink too much, try and be cool about it. I don't know. They announced, I think it was yesterday, as a matter of fact, that Joanne Guzman, undefeated, used to be titleist in not one but 2 divisions. Now that he's going by the name of Baby Tyson. I never heard him go by that before. But Joanne Baby Tyson Guzman is going to be fighting again on March 2nd. It's going to be on ESPN. He's taking on Jesus Pavan. It's a good matchup, at least on paper. It's going to be in Florida. And Liquidity Sports is going to be doing that. So, at the one other thing I want to mention in Texas, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. I told you about the ticket. He got a drunk driving charge. He was arrested January 22nd, and now he's got to go to trial or a hearing anyway, March 16th. Apparently, he was driving like a maniac at 4:38 in the a.m. and he was held until the next day, or same day, until 10:30 a.m. So we'll see what happens with that. Nobody from Team Chavez, including Top Rank, had any comments. So we don't know what the whole story was behind that. But one story that did emerge from the fights was about Manny Stewart now deciding that he's going to be training, or maybe he was offered and accepted the job. He's going to be training Yuriorkis Gamboa. I don't like that. I don't like it. The reason why I don't like it is because Gamboa, I think, I think he's the best featherweight out there. And I think that these guys do a lot of foolish things with these fighters. Hold that thought. I know we're not scheduled to take a break, but we are, because I don't want to sneeze and blow my nose on air. So hang tight. We'll be right back.
Are you ready, America? Then let's get it on with Fight Now TV. It's time, fight fans. Your channel has arrived. All the fights, all the names, all the action. From world-class boxing events to mixed martial arts showdowns and other combat sports matchups, Fight Now TV delivers the hits and more. Call your television provider and tell them you want to get it on with Fight Now TV. For more details, go to fightnow.com.
Now back to Talkin' Boxing with BillyC, the only radio host man enough to take a punch from Mike Tyson.
Wait a minute, man. Hold on there, Jeremy, man. I need you to take this one, all right?
Wait, what? No way. I can't do this.
Need I remind you I'm BillyC, damn it? Now put on that mustache and get in there.
Hey, look at me. I'm BillyC. Crap.
The undisputed heavyweight champion of Boxing Talk Radio. It's Talkin' Boxing with BillyC.
And we're back. Abruptly, right? Well, that's the way it is. Sorry about that. I just don't want to sneeze and blow my schnozola, which is a big issue. In your ears, in your face, I'm trying to be cool. I don't like Gamboa going with Manny Stewart. And I'll tell you why. Gamboa is one of these guys. He's a freak. He's got, power and blazing hand speed. And they're trying to change him. A good analogy for anybody that is a football fan. And by the way, those Giants are the luckiest team I've ever seen in my life. Can't stand them. Then again, hey, when I tell you I didn't even watch the game, I only watched the first half. I wanted to see what some of the commercials. I liked the dog one the best. And the polar bear ones were cool, but the dog one was the best. The dog that couldn't fit his fat ass through the door. And then he went on a diet. And you see him swimming and running the treadmill. The best scene of that one was when they're throwing him the treats and he's just looking at them. He wouldn't eat the treats because he wanted to lose some weight. And he finally loses weight and crashes through the door and chases the car. I guess it was a car commercial. See, that's the problem with some of these commercials. You don't know what they're advertising. You're too busy enjoying the commercial, at least me. One thing I did notice, I don't know about you guys, anybody that watches the Super Bowl, but do you notice multi-products being advertised in the in those commercials? Like the one about the truck, the Chevy truck being able to survive the end of the world, and the Ford's not, their friend. Where's so-and-so? He didn't make it. He has a Ford. They don't last it through everything. And then the guy's like, hey, you want a Twinkie? Now, Twinkies, they last forever. But they're promoting, it was a Chevy commercial. They're promoting Twinkies. There was another one, too, I'm trying to think what it was, where I saw two products being, advertised on the same commercial. And I'm saying to myself, you know what they must have done? Because the commercial time was so expensive. I think it's up to $10 million for a minute. Maybe they split it. Maybe Chevy said to Twinkie, to hostess, I tell you what, we get a great idea for a commercial. We want to use Twinkies. Why don't you throw us a couple of mil? They probably did. So you get the best of both worlds. But during the broadcast, back to boxing, this isn't the commercial review. What did you think of Madonna? Did you think, I got to give her credit. She's my age. She's my age. I'm a fat bastard, and she still looks good. She looks better than, I think she looks better now than she has in years. But I stopped watching. I only saw the beginning of it. So I missed when she's, showed off her bod, which it doesn't do anything for me. Too many muscles. I like muscles, but not that. Not like that. Tone. Tone is good. Not weightlifting muscles. On a woman, I mean. But during the broadcast, let's get back to the fights. During the broadcast, the HBO broadcast with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. and Marco Antonio Rubio, they said something. They said it might have been through Donaire. Yeah, it was the Nito Donaire fight. I'm sorry. And they asked Manny Stewart. Right, so is it official? Are you training Yuri Gamboa? He says yeah. And my hang-up with that is no disrespect to Manny Stewart, and I'm not at all questioning his ability. But Yuri Gamboa, and what I start to say is with the analogy of football, quarterbacks in college that are very successful in running the ball, maybe a quarterback that ran an option or wishbone offense and runs the ball a lot, occasionally throws, and becomes an elite college player because he's fleet of foot. As soon as they get him in the NFL, they want him to be a pocket passer. Because in the NFL, you got bigger, faster, stronger guys. And, they're trying to prolong their careers. They don't want their quarterback, who basically runs the show, they don't want him getting hurt. So they say, listen, Randall Cunningham. Listen, Michael Vick. Listen, whoever else. We don't want you to run around anymore. We want you to stand in that pocket and rely on your linemen. And a lot of times they're not as good. And my theory is, why not take a shortened career, but let them do what they do best? And that's what I think is happening to Gamboa. Yuri Gamboa is a fighter that utilizes his speed and power. He doesn't have much of a defense, although he's looked a little better lately. But his speed is what kills his opponents. And with that said, his career, the style of fighter he is, isn't going to be one of these long careers. We're not going to see Gamboa fighting well into his 30s and early 40s now. We only probably have another 2 years of Gamboa because of the way they fight now. They only fight a couple times a year. But why try to change him? Manny Stewart's going to try to have him throw jabs. Going to have him try and do, that stand-up, boring style of fight. He worked with them all. He worked with Chad Dawson, boring. Worked with Klitschko, boring. Worked with Lewis, boring. You have to go way back to when he was with Tommy Hearns and, the Crunk guys. He was exciting then. But now that he's kind of a hired gun and a fine-tune expert, he focuses on, well, I'm not going to knock what he focuses on. He's right. I'm not saying that he's wrong. I think we need to leave Gamboa alone. And I think what's an indicator that he should be left alone is every time he's been knocked down, which has been often, I think 4 or 5, maybe 6 times in his career. Never hurt. But he's been knocked down. It's always when he's trying something else. Now, I may have lost count. Maybe one of you guys in the chat room could help me out. But I lost count. How many trainers has Gamboa had since he turned pro? I think 4. I think Manny will be his 4th one. Let the kid fight. Let him fight the way he fights. And take his career, because it's going to end abruptly, just like Bam Bam Rios. Now, Gamboa against Donaire. Love the fight. I don't think Donaire beats him. I don't think Donaire beats him. I know Donaire's an elite fighter. I know he's great. He's a great fighter. But he's not going to beat Gamboa. He just, I don't know what it is. I tell you the best thing he did in that fight. Now, it's not the most exciting, but it was the best, in my opinion. And that was when he started doing the Ali impression at the end. It was the last round. But when he was doing that, when he was on his toes, backpedaling and snapping out his jab, landing the jab, he could do that all night long to any fighter and never lose. Sometimes he likes to engage. He looked pretty banged up. Hurt his hand. His face was puffed up from, I think, the second round on. But, he was fighting a guy with no speed. Vasquez has no speed. And little power. He gets in there with Gamboa. He's going to be dealing with speed and power. I got to take a break. When I come back, got some more boxing news to talk about. I'm struggling, under the weather, got the flu or whatever. Glad you could join me, and glad you're going to be nice to me today. Don't bash me too much with the emails. Maybe tomorrow, all right?
Talking Boxing with BillyC. Every week, 2 hours of the best boxing talk on the radio.
I have a bunch of questions, Donnell, right? If you feel like you want to, you can answer for JD first. Why will you win? JD Chapman, why will you win?
Baby Holmes will get sick and get hit by a train that day on the way to the fight, or he might have diarrhea, he might have the flu, he might throw up. One of his eyeballs might fall out that day, and I might get lucky.
Talking Boxing
with BillyC. Talking Boxing with BillyC. Every week, 2 hours of the best boxing talk on the radio.
Mike Tyson looked like he put on some pounds. He was fat. He went into McDonald's and he just said to them, hey, give me 6 of everything on the menu. He put on 2 watches and covered 2 time zones. I'm talking fat here. Got on a scale the other day and it said, come on, one of you guys got to get off. Last thing I heard is that he jumped into the ocean and he left a ring around the continent. He's fat.
Boxing
with BillyC.
Now back to Talking Boxing with BillyC. He may not have an Excellence in Broadcasting award, but the night's still young.
And he's got martinis.
So you never know what may be by morning. It's Talking Boxing with BillyC.
Talking Boxing with BillyC.
The one, the only, Don King.
Makes me feel good, Billy, to have you, the #1 show in the country, Talking Boxing with Billy. So I invite each and every American that's listening to this great show to tune in, because we want you to be there with Billy and me.
Sweet Susie Q, she was a rebel. No angel wings, more like the devil. She was so hot, so cool and nasty. Believe it or not, here's what she asked me. If you need love with no condition, let's do the do, honey.
And we're back. You're listening to the Talking Boxing with BillyC radio show, and you're watching us on the Fight Now channel. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, Combat Sports is the Fight Now channel. And every night's Fight Night on the Fight Now channel, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. So here's my question for you. How come you don't have it? Well, you got to call, man. You got to call your local television provider and tell them that you want the Fight Now channel added to your lineup. It's that simple. Pick up the phone, call your cable provider, your television provider, dish provider, whatever, and tell them that you want Fight Now channel right now. And you'll be able to watch Fight Night starting tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, like every night. You got to check out the website, www.fightnow, for the latest listings. Yeah, there's 1 million people in the chat room, and not one of them came up with the answer for me. All you guys in that chat room, come on, man. Were you under the weather too? You know, I did eat a little yesterday. You know, it's like a holiday here in the States, you know. Most of the chat room guys are from England, and are in there right now, and it's like a holiday here. You know, people this morning are probably waking up with chicken wings still, piece of chicken wing in their tooth, burping up beer and chips and dip and all the food that the doctors tell you to stay away from. That's what we eat on Super Bowl Sunday. All the worst stuff for you. And by the way, we drink too. So if you're spitting out chunks of chicken wings or, broccoli and cheese dip or something, I don't know. Saul Alvarez, Canelo, Canelo Promotions. I mean the fighter. Oh, well, he also has a promotional company. He won a purse bid to stage the elimination bout for the WBC Featherweight Championship between Denver Coelho and Ganigan Lopez. How much you think they paid? Canelo won the bid with 61 grand, man. And there was only one other bid, and that was Boxeo de Gala, who had a bid of $60,100. So $900 difference got Saul Alvarez's promotional company to fight. Now, apparently they got to sign these contracts by 2 weeks from now, by February 18th, and they'll announce the date and time. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Amir Khan had sent a message to Lamont Peterson, and he said, "Hey, Peterson, you're almost out of time." He says, "I've offered you a great deal, 50% of the worldwide revenue, so it's going to be the most you're ever going to get to fight." He says, so it's time to fight me. If not, we'll take on another fight. If Crybaby Khan hasn't realized it yet, they don't want him. They don't care. Khan he's lost his juice, man. Not only that, but he lost his titles. And his team was stupid enough not to have a rematch clause in there. So stupid Golden Boy. Underestimating my man Lamont Peterson. And Amir Khan still crying over this fight. And Lamont Peterson, well, I think he's going to fight Marquez. And why shouldn't he? He's going to get more money. I wouldn't be surprised if Lamont Peterson ends up signing with Top Rank. How about that? Amir Khan. Then they have a really big fight. Maybe. But Khan's got to get back to reality. He's losing his mind. Last week, Marty Mulcahy mentioned Omar Narvaez. When we were talking about Nonito Donaire and his fight, he says, everybody was critical. It's similar to me with the Uzunov and Bartholomew fight that I was ringside for on Saturday. Marty feels about Narvaez. He says, this is a good fighter. And he also said that when he fought Nonito Donaire, he felt that the fans and especially the media was too critical of Narvaez for just wanting to survive or whatever. He says, you got to remember, this guy's small and he's a good boxer. He's not going to let anybody knock him out. He only lost for the first time. He's got a record of 35 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws. 35 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws with 19 knockouts. And he's going to make a defense of his WBO super flyweight title. March 31st against TBA. Now you know how tough TBA is. I've seen TBA knock guys out with half a punch. So Navarrete's got to be careful here. Carl Frampton. No, not the guy that is the singer. Carl Frampton. He said that he's going to be making the second defense of his Commonwealth Super Bantamweight title on the undercard of Kell Brook versus Matthew Hatton, which is going to take place March 17th. Apparently, he's going to be taking on TBA. So the TBA is going to be fighting 2 back-to-back fights. So see what happens. He's got a tough one. TBA's tough, man. Don't forget about him. Did you hear about, speaking of England, did you hear about Ali Adams? Now, Ali Adams is the heavyweight that is going to be taking on former world title challenger, former Olympic star, and former Fraudley and Barrison Harrison. He's going to be taking on Harrison in April 14th, as a matter of fact. And he feels that, I'm talking about Ali Adams, feels that he needed an edge, so his promoter, Steve Goodwin, hooked him up with a hypnotist. And Adams claims that being hypnotized, he feels that he's going to win. He says, listen, he proved it to me. He says after 15 minutes, he was able to spar in a trance and feel no pain at all. He says it was amazing. He said, I'm even hitting harder than ever before. I was knocking people clean out in sparring right after I get hypnotized. It's amazing, and we know that Audley will be knocked out in round 4. So they're hypnotizing him to knock him out in round 4. I don't believe in hypnotists. I don't. You know, if a hypnotist can hypnotize me, that's good. Because, you know, with hypnotic states, you know, you gotta, you know, they all say, well, you gotta want to be hypnotized. You mean you gotta fake it? You know, oh, you're gonna make me run around a stage like a chicken? You know, I wanna do that. You're gonna make me do that? Come on. You know, if a hypnotist can hypnotize me to be a diehard Mayweather fan, if a hypnotist can hypnotize me to talk like Given Quality 24 about Mayweather, or better yet, about Bernard Hopkins, I'll be impressed. But it won't work, because hypnotists don't work, in my opinion. IMO. So, Manny Pacquiao, you let us down this week, man. What else is new? He's starting to get on my nerves just as much as Floyd. Tell you the truth, you know. And here's the difference: with Floyd, it's Floyd. With Manny, it's Bob Arum. But Manny's got to grow the hairs on his you-know-whats and turn around and say, listen, you decrepit 80-year-old pain in my ass. That's his pet name for Bob Arum. Sign the friggin' fight. Sign it. I want to fight Mayweather. Well, now you can't. Now you can't. We'll sign him in November, damn it. No, let's get it over with. Hypnotize Bob Arum into being a human and stop being an idiot. But Manny Pacquiao's still talking about fighting June 9th, and hasn't made it official yet. But all intents and purposes, it looks like it's going to be Timothy Bradley. I would have thought for sure he would have announced it over the weekend. But you know what? Knowing how they promote, it doesn't surprise me. You know why? Because if they would have announced it over the weekend, it might have gotten lost into the shuffle. Number one, the Super Bowl. Every single sports writer, every single person, even if they're not diehard football fans, was watching or doing something with the Super Bowl. So chances are it wouldn't have made the impact he was hoping. Today's a different story. Maybe tomorrow. Today is good because, I mean, tomorrow's better than today because today you might have, you might have people that are just getting back in the swing of things. And then, tomorrow would be a better day to announce it, I guess. And what I would like about it, if they did it tomorrow, is it takes a little of the luster away from Mayweather Cotto, which I think is a good fight. I do. I like Cotto. The more and more I think about Mayweather Cotto, the more I like it. And you know what? We got to give Mayweather credit for the Cotto fight. Have to. You have to. Because Cotto is not a layup fight. He's not a layup fight for Mayweather. I know, and I'm not saying this in a bad way for either fighter. I know guys like Given Quality 24 diehard Mayweather fans don't even want to, all I could say is, guys like that, make sure you take all their weapons and shoelaces and all that out of the way because Mayweather's not going to remain undefeated unless he retires like after this next fight. If he continues, he's going to lose. Let's just hope that, he can handle it. See, I don't think he can. And I don't think he could handle a beatdown. And that's what I think gives Manny a chance against Floyd. Because Manny's going to connect with Floyd. Then what does Floyd do? We don't know. We've never seen him. He's never had to do it. I don't want to hear about, he got hurt by Shane Mosley. And he recovered. He got hurt. He didn't get knocked down. And you could argue that. You could say, well, maybe he didn't get as hurt as we thought. We don't know. He backpedaled. You did see his leg buckle a little, but that's it. So I don't think he's been tested, his heart. Pulling yourself up off the canvas. I'm not a big fan of Steve Cunningham, but he displayed heart the other night. Getting up, trying to fight. He finished the fight on his feet. Made it a war. Made it a war. You got to respect the guy for that. The one thing Floyd doesn't have is respect. At least from the fans. Maybe if some of the fans love everything he does. They think he's an idol. But, I think the fight with Cotto is a good one. And I like that he's fighting because, in my opinion, there's nobody else for Floyd except for Manny and Sergio. And apparently he wants no piece of Sergio, which I think is a mistake because I think Floyd beat Sergio easy. Easy. Yeah, I said it. Easy. I think Floyd beats Sergio Martinez easy. I think Manny beats Sergio. You know, maybe not. I think Sergio's too big for Manny. But Miguel Cotto and Floyd Mayweather Jr. is a good fight. It's a good fight. And Manny Pacquiao and Timothy Bradley, yeah, it's not a bad fight. How about Timothy Bradley against Mayweather? What do you think of that one? You like that one? I don't know. You know, Mayweather wouldn't like it because he won't sign with Bradley. I bet you he never would sign with Bradley. You know why? No, not because he's afraid. Mayweather's not afraid of anybody. He's not. He's just, you know, risk versus reward. You know, what's the best way he can make money? I'm not going to knock him for any of those reasons. I knock him for stuff like Given said about Paul Williams. Not today's Paul Williams. That robbed or Andy Lara. Not that Paul Williams. No. The Paul Williams that was on a tear. The Paul Williams that nobody wanted to fight 2 years ago. Now Paul Williams doesn't want to fight anybody else. They're giving him cupcake opponents. You know. And Floyd, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if Floyd fights him now because he's finished. But back then, it was a fight that would have sold him. Floyd would have won then too. You know? So I don't know. March 2nd, big fight down in Florida, Tampa. Chevelle Halbach against Terry Blair. Now this fight was I was working on it being a title fight, world title fight. But Team Blair wants way too much money. I got a call from the promoter, and the numbers that they're throwing out is almost twice what they're making to go an extra 2 rounds for a title. And my point is, what a couple of idiots. Because, you know, the bottom line is you get the title. Now, yes, it's an alphabet title, and I agree with you, they mean nothing. But it's leverage for the next fight. So apparently they don't have any faith in their fighter. And that's why they're turning it down. So they overbid. And then that's the end of that. But it's a shame because it could have been for a world title. And that would have been really good. You know why? Because we're going to be broadcasting it for free. That's right. Right on the front page of Ustream. March 2nd. I'm going to be there calling the action. And Nate Campbell. Yep, Nate Campbell. The same Nate Campbell that I've been critical over. You know, he's going to be calling the action with me. So, him and I became good friends and friends, so it's not going to be a problem. But what a good card it's going to be. There's actually going to be 3 female fights, maybe 4, and then 6 really good male fights on there. You got to stay tuned on BillyCBoxing.com for the latest updated information. As a matter of fact, you can go there right now and click the fight poster. Get yourself some tickets. If you want a discount, which everybody does, mention BillyC. And speaking of BillyC, that jerk, don't forget about the BillyC Bucks. You know, if you got tickets like these guys, you know, anybody that had tickets to the KO at the TU, and you listen to this show, you could have easily gotten BillyC Bucks set up with an account. And you save it. Save the money. BillyC Bucks. You use it towards the BillyC Hall of Fame. Use it towards a T-shirt. Use it towards a hat. Use it towards whatever. You already bought the tickets. What do you got to lose? Only take an extra minute to fax it or email it to us. We set up an account. It's that simple. So next time you buy tickets for a fight, make sure you send us copies. The deal is they have to be before the fight. So if the fight was scheduled for this weekend and you were there and you have the stub, that doesn't work. You got to, because you can, let's face it, it's like a horse track. You know, people throw their stubs on the ground after the fight. I don't want you to be sending me somebody else's tickets. Yeah, I bought 20 tickets. Here they are. No. So, Scott and I are going to be doing the hits from the 80s. It was one of Scotty's brainstorms. And it's a good one. Vinny Pazienza against Greg Haugen took place in June of 1987. And we're going to be talking about it tomorrow. And he's also got an idea of another segment that we're going to be launching. So we have more segments than we have time. That's for sure. And speaking of segments, we also do the BillyC rankings. And they're up. They're ready to go. No, they're not up on the website yet. They're being evaluated right now. I put in a couple of changes that I think. And one of them, it was tough. In the cruiserweight division, how do you move Joan Pablo Hernandez above or into the number 1 spot? He's already at number 2. You can't move him into number 1 because we know Huck is fighting at heavyweight in his next fight, a couple of weeks against Klitschko. Against the other guy that claims to be a titleist, Alexander Povetkian. And I know that some of the panel is going to want to move him up to number 1 and say, well, Huck's going to fight. Can't do it. You got to wait till the fight. Then maybe move him up. I don't know. I don't even think you move him up. I think he stays at number 2. Steve Cunningham, who was ranked at number 4, these are BillyC rankings, I believe moves down. And Troy Ross and Ledeba move up. Antonio Torres stays right where he is. I also think that what other one did I have? Oh, Donaire. Now, I don't think he jumps that high. He has to leave the division, right? And right now, he's in the bantamweight division at number 1. But since he fought Miguel Vasquez in the junior featherweight division, or super bantamweight division, whatever you want to call it, I think he takes that spot, number 7. So now, Nonito Donaire is at number 7 in the junior featherweights. Now, Vasquez, I don't think we get rid of him. I think he stays in the top 10. The guy I want to get rid of is Steve Molitor, because Steve Molitor is a bum. So, as far as Nonito Donaire's old division, the bantamweight division, everybody moves up, and I think that the guy that should move into the division is none other than actually, I just realized I made a mistake on my vote on my card, because now I think that Nobuhiro Nishiro was the one that should move up to number 10. I had put the wrong guy in, so. And then that's it. Those are the only moves I think that we should have, that we should consider this week. But anyway, that's what's happening. So look for the new updated BillyC rankings up under the website. And if you haven't been to the website in a while, check it out. We've been making some subtle changes, and I think you're going to like it. We do have some footage of last year's BillyC Boxing Hall of Fame up there. It's under the Hall of Fame section, and I will be working on that, getting the whole section together. And we're full force now with this year's BillyC Boxing Hall of Fame. So if you want to take advantage of the early bird special, which we got going on, email HOFinfo at BillyCBoxing.com, and you will get the deal. It's based on 2 people, and there's a couple of options: just entry to the event, or entry to the event, and I mean all of the event, 3 days worth, and it's 3 different meals included, and a hotel. So if you're interested in that, drop us a line. HOFinfo at HallOfFame.com. So, in case you don't know who got in this year, it's up on the it's up on the website. But post inductees, great fighters that are no longer with us, former world champion. Everybody that got in this year is a champion. Henry Armstrong, Jack Johnson, Harry Greb, Joe Louis, Willie Pep, and Billy Costello. And in the living category, former champions Tony the Tiger Lopez, Tony DeMarco, Terry Norris, terrible Terry Norris, terrible Tim Witherspoon, Buddy McGirt, and Juan Laporte. Great card. As a matter of fact, HBO's Harold Letterman told me himself that he loves it. He loves the class. And we'll be talking to him tomorrow. I don't know if it's tomorrow. I don't have my sheet in front of me, but he's going to be on the show. Might be tomorrow. Oh no, Amy Green's coming on tomorrow. So it'll be later in the week. Harold Letterman from HBO's going to be with us. Ask him what he thinks of open scoring. I know I hated it. Ask him what he thinks of Bullshit Punch. When he said that was funny. You think I should ask him what he thinks of Lampley's new glasses? They look terrible. They look like Howdy Doody, man. Nah, I know you don't know who Howdy Doody is. They look. I don't know about you, but I'm just so. I don't. To me, it's like ESPN. I don't even like to listen to them anymore. And he's so snooty, isn't he? Pompous. Don't you think Lampley's kind of pompous? You know, he thinks who he is. He makes a comment to. They had the camera on him, and they make a comment, and he was addressing it to Manny Stewart, but Manny wasn't even looking at him. It was dead air. It was funny. And same went to Merchant. Merchant cracks a joke, nobody laughs except for him. Forget what it was, but it wasn't that funny. Sort of like when I'm not on a roll. My favorite one, that we have the break, coming back from break commercials. The one, he's so fat that he jumped into the ocean and he left the ring around the continent. That's one of my originals, by the way. All the other ones I copied off somebody else. But, yeah, he's so fat he jumped into the ocean and left the ring around the continent. I like that. You know the old fat jokes. When he takes a bath, he leaves a ring around the house. He's so fat that she was wearing high heels and she struck oil. She's so fat, she wears a watch on 2 hands and covers 2 time zones. I'm talking fat. Remember Rodney Dangerfield? He was great at that stuff. Love it, love it, love it. Keep the mailbags coming. Keep the goes that don't goes and the watches and the don't watches coming. Get involved with the chat room. Don't forget about the blog. Get back in that damn forum, man. That forum took a hit. Took a hit because of Joe Santoliquito. I had to stick up for my guy, and the rest of you is, So get in that forum, man. There's some good stuff going on there. Book club. Only buy your books from our book club, please. You'll get discounts from the authors. You get signed copies, the whole nine. Don't forget. Do that. But I almost forgot. I got to do this.
Wake up. It's time for It's too early for a trivia question.
And it very well might be a minute or two early for the trivia question. It's too early for a trivia question. But I'm under the weather, so can't see, can't think, can't do anything today. But anyway, here's the trivia question, which is being sponsored by Star Boxing and the event this weekend at Mohegan Sun, Friday night. ESPN Fights. Demetrius Andrade is going to be trying to take Pooh Ennis's, NABO title or something on Friday Night Fights. I'm going to be ringside. If you want to get some tickets for that, baby, get this trivia question right. Let's see if we can't hook you up with some tickets. What former world champion was recruited not once but twice from the audience to substitute for a boxer who wasn't able to make it? Wasn't able to continue or appear. This question, you got to make sure you're understanding it right. This guy was a former world champion. He was sitting in the audience and literally was having a beer and a popcorn, not once but 2 times. And both times he gets a tap on the shoulder. Hey, Mr. So-and-so. I don't think I'm going to tell you his name. Hey, Mr. So-and-so, but they used his real name. We're in a bind, man. You feel like fighting? You got your boxing equipment with you? Come on with us. You're going to be fighting in the main event. He did it not once but twice. Now, here's the big hint. He was a world champion prior to 1920. So come on, man. Do I have to tell you that it was also after 1900? You got a 20-year span. You can't find this one. Give it a shot, man. What former world champion was recruited not once but twice from the audience to substitute for a boxer who was unable to appear? Took place between 1910. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I just let it slip out. It took place between 1910 and 1920, all right? 1910, 1920, you got 10 years. Email me, Billy@talkingboxing.com. That's TALKIN, BOXING.com.
This day in boxing history.
And finally, on this... wait. Time out. This day in boxing history is being brought to you by... Yeah, that's right. I just had... what did I just have? I just had... I could have sworn I just saw that, but I guess not. But this day in boxing history, yeah, that's what we're talking about, is being sponsored by Campanaro and Tomkovich. If you need a lawyer, you need Campanaro and Tomkovich. Give them a call, 845-221-4099. That's 845-221-4099. Tell them Billy C sent you, and they'll hook you up. Tell them I said that you can waive, that they can waive the consultation fee. That'll only make them real happy. They'll send me the bill for you. So go check out my lawyers, Campanaro and Tomkovich, 845-221-4099. On this day, February 6th, back in 1967, the great one, Muhammad Ali, wins a 15-round decision over Ernie Terrell to unify the world heavyweight title. That took place in the Houston Astrodome. And on this day, February 6, 1967. Was it the Houston Astrodome? I know it was in Houston, Texas. I know the Astrodome was, I know Muhammad Ali and Jimmy Ellis fought at the Astrodome. And I almost think that this fight was there too. But I know it was in Houston, Texas. Maybe not the Astrodome, but it was in Texas on this day, February 6, 1967. Way older. It's been so long that it's older than most of you guys out there. Not than me, but not than David Allen. He just left. So, but anyway, that's what took place on this day, February 6, 1967. Hey, man, that wraps up the show for today. And I apologize for being under the weather. Hopefully tomorrow I'm going to be back to maybe 80%, and we'll be back to normal. We're scheduled to have Amy Green on. Scotty Krause is going to join us as well. So we'll get a chance to hang up on those two. And don't forget, mark it down, Harold Letterman from HBO is going to be joining us this week. I think, I forgot what day it is, maybe Thursday. Maybe Thursday he's going to be on. So make sure you check that out. It's going to be a fun interview. He's a great guy. Him and I are friends, so it ought to be a decent thing. So, hey, there's one thing I need you to remember. You know what it is? Almost blew my eardrums out. Batman. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. There's only one channel. That's the Fight Now channel. Call your local television provider right now and tell them that you want the Fight Now channel added to your lineup. Check out their website for all the information. www.fightnow.com. See you all tomorrow, man. Ciao, baby.